Have you?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Artist Reads the Bible. Today we're going to be starting with Genesis 5. And I'm pretty sure, well, I don't know, there's a lot of genealogy here, talking about how old they live. 5 is pretty short, but a lot of names. 6 pretty short. 7 is not bad. Actually, 8's not bad either. I don't know. We're just going to go. As usual, I got my highlighter, got my decaf Java juice, and I got the living Word of God. So let me get these spectacles off. Get me some Java juice here. That's so good. And let's get started with 5, shall we? This talks about how old everybody lived. The descendants of Adam. This is the written account of the descendants of Adam when God created human beings. He made them to be like himself. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and called them human. I'm going to talk about something here. He made them like himself. Okay. I've heard a lot of discussion on social media, different churches, different individuals, my friends, different family members. And I'm going to explain something to you. Everybody, there is a big hoopla. What color was Jesus? Well, first off, let me explain something to you. Does that really matter? Who cares what color Jesus was? I don't care. I can tell you right now, he wasn't white. But I can also tell you something else too. He wasn't black. If you really need to know, he was more Middle Eastern. He was a bronze color. Olive skin, like Jewish people of that time zone. But I'm going to read this again right here. He made them to be like himself. Okay? Well, if you really, and Jesus was there since the beginning. So, and since Jesus is God's son, don't you think Jesus looks just like God pretty much? Okay, so since God made us to look just like himself, he made Jesus to look just like himself. Since God made people white, black, brown, whatever is it, bronze, red skin, he made us all in his image. So there's your answer. What color is Jesus? What color is God? He's all colors, because he created us in his image. And there's black, white, brown, red, bronze. They all look just like God. So there's your answer. Seriously, are you really worried about what color Jesus was? Does it really matter? How about you just accept that Jesus was God's son? God created us in his image, so God is all colors. Doesn't matter what color it was. Seriously, of all the problems we have in today's world, of all the sins you have in your own life, of all the things you need to be working on, is the color of Jesus really one of them you need to be worried about? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color Jesus was. All that matters is that you follow him. When Adam, he created them male and female, and he blessed them and called them human. When Adam was 130 years old, he became the father of a son. Good Lord, we don't even live to be 130 anymore. Who was just like him in his very image. He named his son Seth. After the birth of Seth, Adam lived another 800 years. 930 years old. And he had other sons and daughters. Adam lived 930 years, and then he died. We're lucky if we make it to 90 today. When Seth was 105 years old, he became the father of Enoch. After the birth of Enoch, Seth lived another 807 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Seth lived 912 years, and then he died. When Enoch was 90 years old, he became the father of Kenan. After the birth of Kenan, Enoch lived another 815 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Enoch lived 905 years, and then he died. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to know who lived the longest, that would be Methuselah. And I'm quite sure he's going to be in this list. He lived close to 1,000 years old. When Kenan was 70 years old, he became the father of Mahalalel. After the birth of Mahalalel, Kenan lived another 840 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Kenan lived 910 years, and then he died. Whew. There's some part in the Bible where Jesus cuts it off at 120. I don't remember where it's at, but people was living too long. He cut it off. When Mahalalel was 65 years old, he became the father of Jared. After the birth of Jared, Mahalalel lived another 830 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Mahalalel lived 895 years, and then he died. You know, it's kind of funny because you hear modern medicine, oh, you know, people live so much longer today thanks to modern medicine. Really? I don't see nobody living 800-900 years today. Thousands of years ago, yeah. Not today. And even if you want to look at just the last century, I can think of people who have died in the last 30, 40 years that were in their late 80s, 90s, 100s, 110s. Wasn't modern medicine that saved them. You know what saved them? Hard work. They ate whatever they want. They smoked whatever they want. They drank whatever they want. But they worked their butts off. They never sat still. What do we do today? This. We're on our phones. We're on computers. We got Uber and all that brings our food to us. We don't grocery shop anymore. We do pickup orders, or we do delivery. We don't make our own food anymore. We don't hunt our own food anymore. Well, some of us do. Not a lot. Not in the grand scheme of things. We don't fish for our food anymore. We don't do gardens anymore to grow our own food. We don't, we're not active. That's why, modern medicine can claim and tout all they want, but we're not living any longer than we did 50, 60 years ago. All this technology is not causing us to live any longer. You know why? Because modern medicine doesn't want you to live longer. Modern medicine doesn't want to save your life, because if they save your life, well, they just lost a customer, didn't they? Think about it. Big pharma and the medical field. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some that genuinely want to save your life. But, it's more profitable if they prolong your life, not save it, not cure you, just keep you strung along. And if you want to know how much doctors make, I actually looked this up the other day. I was curious how much my cardiologist made. A normal, not a specialist, a normal run-of-the-mill cardiologist averages, depending on what state you're in, around $250,000 to $275,000 a year. Now, what do you reckon a specialist like an electrophysiologist, heart failure specialist, transplant specialist, what do you reckon they make? I bet it's close to $500,000 a year. You know why they make that amount of money? Because they don't really cure people. And it's not all their fault. Fast food's fault, our government's fault, it's our fault. The crap we put in our bodies, the fact that we stay on those computers. If we stayed active and we ate healthy and we exercise on a regular basis, we wouldn't need them daggum doctors. We would very rarely need them doctors. But we don't do that, do we? Nope. Let's get back to reading. When Jared was 162 years old, he became the father of Enoch. 162 years old. We don't even live that long anymore. And these people are having babies when, oh my goodness. After the birth of Enoch, Jared lived another 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Jared lived 962 years and then he died. When Enoch was 65 years old, he became the father of Methuselah. Here we go. After the birth of Methuselah, Enoch lived in close fellowship with God for another 300 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Enoch lived 365 years. Boy, he died early, didn't he? Compared to the other ones. Okay. Oh, Enoch lived 300 feet walking in close fellowship. Then one day he disappeared because God took him. That's right. He went up without dying. When Methuselah was 187 years old, he became the father of Lamech. After the birth of Lamech, Methuselah lived another 782 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Methuselah lived 969 years, and then he died. So 31 years shy of a millennium, 1,000 years. That's the oldest living person in the Bible right there. Well, person, not the oldest living. I mean, God and Jesus are oldest living, but they're still living. They never died. Well, technically, Jesus died the mortal form, but he was resurrected. He's alive right now. When Lamech was 182 years old, he became the father of a son. Lamech named his son Noah, for he said, "May he bring us relief from our work and the painful labor of farming this ground that the Lord has cursed." After the birth of Noah, Lamech lived another 595 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. It's kind of a lucky number, isn't it? 777. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. 500 years old. Good grief. That's 5, by the way. Let me get me a little coffee here. And we all know who Noah is. The ark. Yep, that Noah. Technically speaking, we all come from Adam and Eve. But the earth kind of repopulated with Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. Because everything else was destroyed. Well, and all the animals, but we don't come from animals. Unlike what a bunch of evolutionaries think. We don't come from primates. We come from God. Chapter 6, A World Gone Wrong. The world's still wrong. Then the people began to multiply on the earth, and daughters were born to them. The sons of God saw the beautiful women, and took any they wanted as their wives. Sons of God, angels. This is talking about the Nephilim, the offspring of angels and mortal women, human women, created the Nephilim, giant race. Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not put up with humans for such a long time, for they are only mortal flesh. In the future, their normal lifespan will be no more than 120 years. See, this is just a joke. Don't get all offended. But the women gave the fruit, which caused that to be cursed. And then the women are having sex with angels, which pissed off God again. So that's twice now. It's just a joke, by the way. Don't be getting all hurt. But that's where he limited it to 120 years. In those days, and for some time after, giant Nephilites, the Nephilim, I told you, lived on the earth. For whenever the sons of God had intercourse with women, they gave birth to children who became the heroes and famous warriors of ancient times, which could have been Hercules, which could have been all these other ones of Greek mythology and all this other crap. That could have actually been Nephilims, which is right here in the Bible. The Lord observed the extent of human wickedness on the earth, and he saw that everything they thought or imagined was consistently and totally evil. Well, why does that sound familiar? Oh yeah, it's kind of like what's going on today, huh? So the Lord was sorry he had ever made them and put them on the earth. It broke his heart, and the Lord said, I will wipe this human race I have created from the face of the earth. Yes, and I will destroy every living thing, all the people, the large animals, the small animals that scurry along the ground, and even the birds of the sky. I am sorry I ever made them, but Noah found favor with the Lord. Thank goodness for Noah, huh? This is the account of Noah and his family. Noah was a righteous man, the only blameless person living on earth at the time, and he walked in close fellowship with God. Noah was the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now God saw that the earth had become corrupt and was filled with violence. Got a lot of that going on today, don't we? God observed all this corruption in the world, for everyone on earth was corrupt. So God said to Noah, I have decided to destroy all living creatures, for they have filled the earth with violence. Yes, I will wipe them all out along with the earth. Build a large boat from cypress wood and waterproof it with tar inside and out. Okay, now I'm a little confused now. I thought that Noah's Ark was built with gopher wood. This saying cypress wood. Oh, okay. Or gopher wood. So I guess cypress wood is gopher wood. Okay, that explains that. Waterproof it with tar inside and out. They construct decks and stalls throughout its interior. Make the boat 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Sounds like a modern cruise ship, don't it? Leave an 18-inch opening below the roof all the way around the boat. Put the door on the side and build 3 decks inside the boat, lower, middle, and upper. Look, I am about to cover the earth with a flood that will destroy every living thing that breathes. Everything on earth will die, but I will confirm my covenant with you. So enter the boat, you and your wife, and your sons and their wives. Bring a pair of every kind of animal, a male and a female, into the boat with you to keep them alive during the flood. Pairs of every kind of bird and every kind of animal and every kind of small animal that scurries along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. And be sure to take on board enough food for your family and for all the animals. So Noah did everything exactly as God had commanded him. And that's 6, by the way. There's a little joke I seen on Facebook, a meme that had 2 unicorns laying in bed, and one of them was reading the paper and said, boy, that's something about all the commotion or whatever, and the one said, what's going on? And he said, some nut job Noah's building a ark or something, supposed to flood the earth or something. Glad we didn't get wrapped up in that nonsense. 2 unicorns. Get it? There ain't no unicorn. Because they didn't make it to the boat. And in regards to the dinosaurs, how you know they didn't make it to the boat? The Bible does talk about, somewhere, I don't remember where, so forgive me, about dinosaurs, great beasts. Actually, I do believe in certain parts of the Bible it talks about dragons too. But you ask, why do we not have them now? How do you know they just didn't make it to the boat? Think about it. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there because I haven't had any dinner tonight. And I got scallops thawing out in some water and shrimp's already thawed out. I'm going to make myself some scallops and shrimp and some garlic butter, fry them up, and then I don't know what I'll have vegetable wise. I'll have some green beans with onions in them, or maybe I'll have some broccoli and cheese. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, they lived a long time back in them days, didn't they? Methuselah lived 969 years. That's a lot of years. That is a lot of years, isn't it? We live... Yeah, well, he cut it off at 120, but nowadays we're lucky if we live to see 80 or 90. But When I was younger, my great-grandmother, Grandmother Mosier, one of her friends, Mrs. Smoot, I believe all the time I knew her, she kind of lived in a home. But if I'm not mistaken, that woman lived to be like 108, 112, something like that. You talk about a blessed life. What is on my shirt? Cat hair. You talk about a blessed life right there. You know, and I think my grandmother, Grandma Mosier, might have lived close to 90, if not in the 90s. And my Grandma Rhodes, great Grandma Rhodes, lived to be, I want to say she was close to 100. You know, and these are all people who ate whatever they wanted. Now, my Grandma Mosier never smoked. My great grandma Rhodes never smoked. So I don't know, maybe that's key to it. But I've heard of people who smoke and drink and all that, eat bacon every day, live to be 120, almost 120 years old. So I don't know. I seen a thing on Facebook, a gentleman of African descent, was in the United States Army, I want to say. Maybe it was Marines, I don't know. Probably wrong on that. But he smoked cigar his whole life. He drank alcohol his whole life. And I want to say that gentleman lived to be, oh Lord, well over 100. Well over 100. I want to say closer to 110, 112, something like that. So see, I don't think it's necessarily what you eat. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think that gentleman, and I don't believe my great-grandmother or Miss Smoot, I don't believe they were eating a lot of junk food. I think, they ate what they wanted as long as they cooked it. And I bet you that gentleman was probably the same way. I bet he pretty much ate what he wanted, but it was stuff he cooked himself. Not this fast food, preservative filled, cancer bearing crap we eat today. I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of us die earlier. Well, I know it's the reason. Well, part of mine's genetics. My whole family's had heart diseases and stuff. My grandfather died at 63 from heart. My grandmother died at 66, stroke and heart. My dad died at 70. He actually had cancer in two different places, but he had a massive heart attack, and all of it combined took him. And I don't know, some doctors are saying, I don't know. My heart failure doctor says, yeah, I can live another 20 years, which will be, I just want to make it past my dad. I want to live to be middle 70s. I'm 52 now, but, I've ate a lot of junk food in my life. I can't blame it all on genetics. The meal I had before I had my massive heart attack was an entire medium pepperoni and jalapeno pizza from Pizza Hut. Not a few pieces, the whole pizza. When I had my heart attack, I weighed 265 pounds. I'm down to around 235 now. I was down 224, but some of these medicines are causing me to gain weight, these heart failure meds. But and I wasn't exercising hardly any at all back then. I became diabetic. Never needed medicine, but I became diabetic. That caused a massive heart attack. Now I exercise 5-6 days a week, every week, unless I'm sick or something like that. I am trying to lose weight. I don't smoke. I smoked for 32 years of my life. I've been quit about 10 years now. Don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol. Although I think a little red wine probably wouldn't hurt me any. It's supposed to help your heart. I do eat a lot more fish, salmon, scallops, tuna, stuff like that now. So, doing everything I can to keep it along, but that's up to God, not up to me. when the big guy upstairs wants me, he's going to take me. And not a moment after or before. It'll be when he wants me. So it's been 4 years since my heart attack. He's blessed me with at least 4 years. You know, every morning when I wake up, I thank God for giving me another day. You know, he's blessed me with another day. And I'll continue to do that till the day I die, until he just doesn't wake me up anymore. And then I'll tell him in person, hopefully, thank you for the life that you gave me, and thank you for this eternity in heaven. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. Let me hop off here. Hope y'all got something out of today. I know I did. Until next time, y'all, please, please, please be good to each other. I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you again real soon.